All right, and ahead of the Prime Minister's big speech to Congress, his rocky relationship with President Obama has hardly gone unnoticed. It has seen many bumps since both men took office in early 2009. To name a few, back in November in 2011, the president was caught on a hot mic, remember this, seeming to suggest that he was frustrated with Netanyahu. Then almost a year later in 2012, Israeli officials say the president refused to meet with the Prime Minister while both were in New York City for the UN General Assembly. And, remember this one, just last October, an unnamed American official is reported to have called Netanyahu, quote, chicken bleep. Meantime, Prime Minister Netanyahu is seeing some of his highest favorability ratings among the American people. According to Gallup, it finds nearly twice as many Americans view him favorably. It was that poll I mentioned earlier, 45% as unfavorably, up from 35% in 2012. Netanyahu's current favorability rating tying his highest rating among 6 times that Gallup has measured it. All right, Harris, I want to go to you on this one. So as I mentioned earlier, it seems like the American public sympathizes with Israel, but also respects the strong leadership and understands the position he's in.
Well, you know, in this morning's speech to AIPAC, he said, look, consider what Iran is doing now without nuclear weapons. What would they do if they had nuclear weapons? And we, on Fox Report last night, made this list of what they've been doing. As of yesterday, Iran delivered with its first flight into Yemen the rebels that overtook the government there, delivered supplies to them. And we know that they violently kicked out the pro-U.S. government in Yemen. It caused us such instability around our embassy, we had to close it. Just days ago, Iran test-fired more than 20 missiles in the Persian Gulf, including mock sinking of a U.S. aircraft carrier. They've been going on with military exercises since December. This is without a nuke. What will they do if and when they get one?
Yeah, Jedediah, I want to go to you because also, a couple other instances come to mind that I could add on to that list that I read. Remember President Obama ripping Netanyahu to Nicolas Sarkozy? That was another open mic. Also, saying that Jerusalem needed to go back to 67 borders. Right. The president's friendship with intellectual radical Khalid Rashidi. There have been a history of things. This has not happened in a vacuum. And I do think it's time to ask the question, is this White House anti-Semitic?
I don't think this relationship can be repaired. I think too much has happened behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, that we've overheard in terms of policy. And I think, unfortunately, it's going to be the job of the next president to sort of solidify this bond again and to let Israel know that we have their back. I don't know that Netanyahu is Obama's biggest supporter. And can you really blame him?
I don't think
hasn't vocally had Israel's back in a way that he should have.
The administration is not anti-Semitic. What this rift that you see is a debate within the diplomatic community about Iran and its culture and its future. Is it a moderate state? Does it have the culture to be a moderate state? And are there forces at work that if we engage with them, they might become more moderate? I don't believe this is
the only way they're hostility, Charlie. I understand. Okay, if you believe that Iran should exist and you believe in Iranian exceptionalism, if you believe those things, you don't have to be openly hostile to Israel. And
Listen,
I think that's what people are seeing historically for the first time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not in favor of Israel going back to 67 borders. That's insane. By the way, when he did that, that was really the sort of touch off of a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
I mean, yes, Netanyahu and Obama, I can't see them playing golf together. They're different guys. And by the way, chicken bleep for Netanyahu,
yeah, we had to clean that up.
The furthest thing from reality. But I am telling you, if you read Henry Kissinger's book, World Order, it talks about this sort of diplomatic belief in many circles that Iran is approachable. And I think that's what the president's trying to do.
They had a mock sinking of a U.S. carrier.
I'm not saying they are. I'm telling you the debate.
But Kennedy, you get the sense that the White House sees Israel not as an ally, but as a colonial occupying power. I mean, this is the most hostile rhetoric and harsh rhetoric towards what's supposed to be a friend.
Two things. One, Iran is not going to be moderate until they go back to Zoroastrianism, if we're going to be honest about things, number one. And number two, yeah, it is harsh rhetoric, but the president, you know, just
oh, spit it out. We want to hear it.
No, I mean,
I haven't heard the word Zoroastrian in a long time.
Say it.
I think it was on.
What were you going to say?
What were you going to say? Say it.
A Zoroastrian named Vilma.
What were you going to say?
I won't finish it.
now let's move on.
Did you have a joke?
No.
A knock-knock joke, maybe, perhaps?
No.
All right. Well, maybe she'll tell us during outnumbered overtime.